Hold on, wait, where? Whoa. Is the mic on, Ed?
Mic on.
Hey, little fella, how you doing there today? How you doing there? Look at that little guy, eh?
Mr. Head.
Mr. Head.
Now, if we start talking, if we start talking about something that you don't want to listen to, we'll just put on the cone of silence.
The cone of silence. And we'll demonstrate that feature a little later in the broadcast because we do have some things that we don't want him to hear.
Okay.
All right. So, Ed, how are you doing today?
I'm fine. I'm enjoying sobriety.
Yeah. You're sober?
Sober as a judge.
Get the hell out of here.
What a sobering thought.
No, I know. Sobriety.
I've done this before. I've done it, and I'll do it again. But, it's getting a little boring.
Yeah, yeah.
Not in here, of course, but I'm saying out there.
Yeah, that's good. I'm glad we're not boring the pants off of you here.
And there was a medical study released by Britain today.
Yeah.
What's that? What are those bells I hear? What's going on?
Just this computer.
Who's chiming in? Who's chiming in? So they've said now they're pretty sure that if you don't drink, you're more likely to get dementia.
No kidding.
So here I am, on the wagon, and I'm feeling a little. Now I'm really sort of more on the fence. I'm sort of was on the wagon. Now I'm thinking of jumping off.
Now you're on the fence.
Because the last thing I want is dementia.
No, you're on the fence on the wagon.
Did we ever talk about how that saying came about?
Are you demented?
On the wagon? Off the wagon?
Dementia.
I'm demented. There's no question.
And we got a hell of a show here today. We're going to mix it up a little bit today. I don't know.
Something different?
It's going to be
something different.
Something different. First, we're going to talk about selective disclosure by the Globe and Mail, Molson Coors, and Hydropothecary in that transaction, because that's a little bit alarming to me as a shareholder in Hydropothecary.
Are you a recent shareholder?
I've been a shareholder of quite some. Let's say I've been long suffering, and I've been in and out of that stock a couple of times.
So you're trying to.
No, some people have suggested that I'm crazy buying more stock in Hydropothecary and then complaining about their selective disclosure. But damn it, Ed, they really flubbed it, and I'm really ticked off. And now we've got Molson Coors selectively disclosing the price of the warrants and the quantity of the warrants to the Globe and Mail only. And so us investors out here who get our information from other sources are not aware of this. The stock sells off. And so did the stock sell off because of selective disclosure information to certain shareholders who said, oh, this is not such a good thing. Yeah. There's no cost to the warrants. 3 years, $11.5 million. Here, $6 fixed price. Doesn't that imply to you potentially that the expected price performance of Hydropothecary over 3 years is going to max out at $6? Is that one way that could be read? This is why selective disclosure is not allowed, and continuous disclosure through approved sources is required of public companies. So basically, I feel like I just got ripped off. Let's just say I'm switching to Labatt's.
What? Yeah.
Anyways, so we're going to have a chat with, the forces that be about that.
Yeah. Have you ever interviewed the gentleman, the CEO of Hydropothecary?
Sebastian's been here, our guest, numerous times.
Okay.
We've gone out, we've shot a mini doc at their facilities out in Quebec.
The problem with buying on news, generally speaking, I think it's more buy on history.
See, I've always had a problem with that. That's a good thing if it's a mining stock.
I know.
It's a mining stock.
Right,
buy the mystery, sell the history. But if it's a real company-making piece of news.
And you'd think Coors.
Well, you would think, but this is the thing, that the press release that came out was lacking in detail. So you were taking somewhat of a leap of faith and saying, well, Molson Coors is doing a deal with Hydropothecary. We don't know what the terms are yet, but I'm going to take a leap of faith and increase my position in Hydropothecary. And then the next day, the stock sells off. I'm trying to figure out why is the stock selling off.
What's it trading at right now, as a matter of fact?
It's trading at 473 the last I looked. Let's go take a quick look here.
And maybe put up the chart. I just want to see the action relative to...
But anyway, so here's the Globe and Mail piece where this is the... on Wednesday afternoon, a spokesman for Molson said the warrants can convert to 11.5 million shares of Hydropothecary at a strike price of $6 a piece. It's not in a press release. It's only told to the Globe and Mail.
So the deal is, are they saying basically they have an option to buy 11.5 million shares at $6? So they would only exercise, obviously, if the stock...
No, it's a warrant. A warrant the warrants are good for 3 years.
Right.
The option has to be exercised. In other words, there's a strike price for the option associated with it. These guys are being given 11.5 million shares at zero cost with a locked-in future exercise price of $6 a share.
So they may put money in.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. If you compare this to the deal with Canopy Growth, where Constellation bought 10% of the company to do a deal, where they actually put in $240 million to do the deal. That took the share price higher because the terms were clear in the press release and everybody knew what they were getting into. In this case, we find out that there is no terms in the press release.
So are they giving up any money right up front?
They're paying nothing. If you look at this, it looks like to me...
They're just getting an option to buy shares.
Well, Hydropothecary had to pay 11.5 million warrants to Molson in order to get them to sign the deal. They were in talks with 4 other companies. That has not been disclosed either, and I say I smell a rat in here. I smell a rat. Canada's largest brewing company notwithstanding, Hydropothecary, which I'm a shareholder notwithstanding.
You think that you could sum this up by saying that something is rotten in Denmark? Something is rotten in Ontario. And Quebec, for that matter. I know. Anyways, I put out invitations to Sebastian St. Louis to come and explain that on the show. I put it out to Frederick Landmetter, who is who is the CEO of Fred Landmetter. I apologize if I'm saying that wrong. I've invited him through email to come and join us on the show and just explain that. But yeah, we'll see. But for now, let's just say that the investing public is not impressed. Yeah, no. I'm just going to. The share price reflects that. So, anyways, today we also have Justin Marshall coming to us live from California again. He's coming to us from Monterey. Good old Justin. We're doing a live. He's the fellow that was miraculously. He had stage 4 cancer. Was given 1 month to live. I love that story. Undertook a course of chemo, in combination with a big CBD course. Declined further chemo. 3.5 years later, he's cancer-free, and he's telling me that it's all thanks to the CBDs. He has become our West Coast correspondent. He's here with the guys from Big Sur Dispensary in Monterey, California, near Carmel by the Sea. Yeah. And we're going to hear and take a look at some of the products there. I want to... we also have Nick Dean from Emblem joining us. He's going to be here a little bit later at, we'll call it 3:47 or so. Nick Dean is going to give us an update on all of Emblem's good stuff, takeovers, strategic investments. And then, towards the end of the show, just to keep it real, there's a gold company that drilled a hole, and now it's up 250%. Actually, now it's up 300% from July 24th when it put out this news. It's doing a $3 million raise. We have the CEO of that, Tim Froude, is here to join us. And what's the name of the gold company? Sokoman Gold Corp. Symbol SIC on the TSX venture. Sick. Sick. It's sick. No, but that's what when you put it in it's a Latin term. You put in a word the way it was incorrectly put in, so that this sick. Exact sick. Yes. So yeah, that's been good. Yeah. So that's where we're going to go today, Ed. Now, I want to hear more about this this sobriety thing. Like what? Like, do you have liver problems or somebody giving you a hard time? Well, I don't anymore because I don't have a drinking problem. I see. I got rid of my drinking problem Monday morning. Right. Right. No, I do this occasionally. I do it as a form of experimentation. Fermentation. I think it's a good idea to try and mix it up. Yeah. Yeah. I had a glass of wine yesterday at lunch with one of our ACMPR CEOs, but that's because I couldn't let him drink alone. But I had one glass of wine. Other than that, it's been 2 days of sobriety. I haven't actually consumed cannabinoids now for almost 48 hours. I know, I'm freaking out. I think I might have to go back to Right. Maybe that's why the stocks are backing off today, because there's no consumption of product. Ed, I don't know if you've been looking at the... Weed's doing well today. Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, what else do we care about? Well, we care about gold, because gold's going to be a trade at some point. As soon as all those cryptos fall the rest of the way out of the bed, it's going to be Gold City.
Anyways,
What's the symbol SIC? Okay, I want to take a look at SIC on my little.
well, we'll come back to SIC, but at this point we have the indices to look at, and if you look at this, Ed, you'll see that the best performing index today is the Midas Letter Small Cap Index. So companies between $100 million and $500 million trading in Canada are up 2.38% as a group today, which is kind of impressive.
Right.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's
the index
good.
page.
That's nice.
And let's see who's up. What's up? So this is ordered right now by market cap.
By market cap. Let's do it by
Change?
Percentage gain, yeah.
Okay, so the big winner today is Ianthus Capital Holdings, up 5.54%. We were supposed to have Hadley Ford in here this morning. He crapped out on us. He said he could do it live from the car. I was going to say, the last thing I want you to do is try to video yourself with your smartphone while you're driving.
And keep looking into the camera.
That's right.
Crash! We got this one live on tape,
I can't believe that.
Can you imagine?
I wonder if he was consuming cannabinoids when he came up with that idea. Anyways.
Yeah.
Let's hope that Hadley's not going to do that. Second up, MPX Bioceutical up 3.75%. That is apparently on the news that they're buying TGIF. And everybody's been asking
Who's buying TGIF?
No, their financials are out today. But there's a rumor that they bought TGIF.
Oh, there's a rumor that they bought TGIF. According to our production...
They're both halted.
They're both halted.
Something.
But they released their financials.
Okay.
$8 million.
So apparently we're... Right.
TGIF
Rumor has
got
it
how much?
That TGF is about to get bought by MPX. Do we have Scott Boyes coming in for an interview, Suzanne, tomorrow? No? Why not? What about the CEO of TGF? What? Not on the schedule yet? Let's get on this stuff, people. You know, if the Globe and Mail is going to, distribute selective disclosure, the least we can do is stoke the rumor mill.
Yeah.
I don't know which would be considered more fake news. I don't know. I hate that term, fake news. There's no such thing as fake news.
Do you hate it because your favorite politician invented it?
Who's my favorite politician?
Donald Trump.
Donald Trump. Donald Trump's not a politician.
No, that's true.
And, we've decided, Ed, I do believe, in case you didn't get the memo, we've decided that we are going to remain apolitical on this platform.
I like apolitical is a good thing. You say apolitical, I say apolitical. You say potato, I say potato.
Tomato?
Tomato.
There we go. So we agree that we hate all politicians going forward. They're all in our bad books.
There
are no good politicians.
Politics. Many. Ticks, parasite.
Whoa, soft.
What?
Soft.
No, I'm not saying. But politics.
Politics. Okay. I don't think we need to go that level of anti sort of politician.
They take the money from someone, give it to someone else. On the way through, they take their cut. Never talk about their cut.
That's what they do. Whoever wants to disclose how much they've been paid.
And under the guise of trying to help their fellow constituent, whatever. Anyway.
Right. Anyways. So, anyway. Let's look at those cannabis stocks again.
Are those pineapples on your shirt, by the way? Are those pineapples? I think
those are actually roses and nasturtiums.
But what are those? What's that?
This one I would say is a
hand grenade, or this one?
Which one? Where?
Here, I'm gonna point right there.
I don't.
But the one with the. No, it's not. It's not.
It is.
It's a pheasant.
It's a strawberry.
Okay.
Anyways, back to the show.
All right.
So, Ed, in lieu of alcohol, have you decided
that shirt sometime?
What makes you think you're going to buy? Oh, that would go well. Well, look at my pants today. I know.
We're sort of like,
I know.
Shades of. There's shades of gray. This is shades of the.
50 Shades of Gray. 50 Shades of Red. There we go.
Okay, let's.
InMed Pharmaceuticals up 77 cents.
Look at every one of these things is up over here. Look at
Invictus Pharmaceuticals up 3.15%. Now, this was another good one I wanted to point out here because this really made me laugh. Invictus extends investor awareness program to a company called, where was it? $33,000 a month for Ticona Media Limited.
Ticona
Media Limited. So, interestingly,
I'm thinking 33,000 a month. This must be a big media
33,000 a
company.
month. So that's 33 times 12. Let me just figure that out quickly.
So 360 grand a year. So then I.
That's only 30 grand. 30.
No, I'm kidding. 360 grand a year. So I put in Ticona Media in Google, and what do I get? They don't even have a website. So I'm curious as to who runs Ticona. We'd love to have them on the show, just because obviously they need help with their visibility, and we'd be happy to do that for them. What else we got going on here in Invictus? So, well, that's it's up a little bit on that news. They must be doing something right. Maybe they're a market maker.
How many companies do you have in this 100 to 500 category?
No, this is so you're right. Let's see. We'll put out the count. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 30, 11, 31, 32. 32 companies.
What were the earnings that TGIF put out today?
What were the earnings? Boy, you really like to improvise, don't you, Ed? TGIF. Let's see. We're going to pull up the earnings
because
of TGIF.
I think I heard Fraser
waxing. Let's see here. 37 cents.
Yeah, but it's been halted for a while.
Halted yesterday.
Okay, just drop
There are no...
okay, Friday night announces third quarter financial results.
That was back in June. We're not going to go there.
Okay, forget that. Okay.
Let's try MPX is probably what Fraser was talking about.
They released their year-end audited today.
Year-end audited financials. There we go. Bioceutical Corporation reports financial results. Quick look at those. Total revenues, $8 million for Q4. Does that imply a $32 million a year run rate? Come on.
Okay, so here we got top line results for the year, 21 million. So they're increasing, they're accelerating.
Yeah,
which is what you want to see.
8.8 in the last quarter, though. That's up from 4.4 of the same period in Q4 last year. That is downright impressive. Scott, boys, you are knocking it out of the park, sir. I wish I'd bought you.
What's the market cap of that company? How many shares outstanding?
Go ahead. You're just popping questions left, right, and center here. Dashing to find out here. What's the market cap of the company? Quick. Survey says shares out 380. Market cap $315 million. $315 million. $21 million.
So it's trading at 10 times revenue.
10 times. Well, yeah, better than 10 times revenue.
Yeah.
12 times revenue. We'll call that. Let's see. Let's go back to that press release.
Okay.
No, we lost it there somehow. Okay, anyways, continuing on down the list. Abcan Global. Barry Fishman is going to be here next week for give us an update on Abcan Global. Haiku Brands up 2.68%. Well, we had Alan Gertner in here not so long ago. We should get him back. Blow, Cannabis Technologies continues to rise on the news that the police are going to start field testing. Blow's Cannabis Technologies Blow.
Let's put up a chart of Blow up there.
You want to put up a chart of Blow, eh? Boy, that doesn't sound healthy to me, Ed. You've given up alcohol, but put up the Blow, right?
Put up the Blow.
Put up the Blow. 97 million, 163 million shares out. Oh, it's got a little funny look on the chart there. Let's take a quick look.
That went from 2 to 1.
There was a big sell-off there on July 31st.
What the hell? What the hey?
And then it came back. Then it had a lift.
Okay, that's a short-term chart. Can you put up a month?
1 month. 30 days coming up. 30. There we go.
Wow. Something happened there. Wow. From 2 to 1.
Well, that was the day the news came out. Let's see here. Cannabis Technology comments on Bill C-46. Okay, so let's see. On July 30th, Bill C-46 was Government of Canada authorization of roadside saliva testing devices under Bill C-46. Okay, so they're going to start testing, well, is it cannabixes? Let's see, the chief objective of cannabis in our ongoing advanced product development work. Okay, so this is not saying that they're using cannabix's device. but they're saying that they wish to confirm that company management is unaware of any material change. Okay, so there's what happened. There was a spike because everybody interpreted that to mean it was Cannabix's
And the
device.
market cap is?
Cannabix had to come out and say, we did not receive any such notice, and so the sell-off kicked in, then it bounced back because everybody said, well, maybe they are going to use Cannabix. Who knows what the hell's going on
So shares out, market cap 160 million.
Yeah. Ed, we're going to cut to Justin now.
Not Justin Trudeau.
Justin Marshall. Justin B. Marshall, our West Coast correspondent, is coming to us live.
Okay.
Hey, Justin, how are you guys doing today?
There's some familiar faces.
Hi, James.
How are you?
Justin.
How's everybody?
Hi, guys.
Excellent. We're down here again at Big Sur Canna Botanicals, hanging out today with John DeFloria and Aram Stoney at their beautiful dispensary here in Carmel, California. We're back here today to discuss some more cannabis news from California and also talk about some of the beautiful products they have in their dispensary. Let's start by saying, down here in California, the news, of course, is that the big acquisition of Cannex Capital of Jetty Extracts is huge. And with Cannex Capital being in about 80% of the dispensaries in California right now, including this one, they're doing big things, and we're very interested in watching that closely. Also, we want to talk about, let's see, Aram, you've been the leader in this area for compassion programs for patients. And I, as a patient, am very proud of what you're doing. You're making a big difference in this community, and you're helping a lot of people that really need the help. Can you please tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, thanks, Justin. You know, compassion is a big part of what we do, and compassion can cover a lot of areas, but really here, you know, people think of Carmel as a very affluent area. You know, everybody's got all this money and can, you know, just buy all these products, but the truth is there's a core community that really can't afford, you know, their medicine. Every other, you know, medical industry has programs, Medicare, Medicaid, whatever, that can provide medicine to patients, but the cannabis industry in its current legal state doesn't have that. When we started our compassion program, it was really during our delivery service. We saw that need as John and I were driving around to people's homes and sitting much like we are today, you know, just having conversations and talking to people and finding out what they need. And a lot of times it was like, oh, you know, we can't afford it, and we know that'll work. And so we said, how can we help? And you know, when you're starting a business, it's hard just to give away stuff for free because it's you know, you're not going to be in business very long if that's all you do. But so we really started working with other vendors, and vendors are also very compassionate, people making the products, and we found the ones that were able to either give us really low cost products or really products for free that we could just pass on you know, to the patients as they were called. And you know, keep in mind this was really easy and you know, to do pre-2018, you know, the you know, new California state regulations, where they're kind of honestly missing the mark right now with compassion. They've said we're not allowed to give away free product anymore. So that's really put sort of a hindrance on our program. You know, kind of backing up a little bit too, I hired our general manager, Lori, whose mom is Dr. Deborah Malka, who was running other compassion programs kind of in the you know, at other dispensaries before we got going, and you know, also has a real good handle on what the patients need and can reach out that way. But right now, you know, honestly, it's tough. I mean, you know about our program, but you know, the state of affairs have made it difficult. So instead of companies, you know, being able to give us free products, which they can't do, and for us to give those products back out to free, we cannot do anymore. We're finding other ways just to heavily discount these products, and you know, hopefully be able to continue helping those in need. We do see that you know, California, or we hope California is listening to this plea. We're not the only ones with the Great Compassion Program.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you, Aram. That's very important information, because I know the world's watching us here in California under a microscope. John, I know that you're one of the leaders in organic cannabis growing in California, and you've been doing this for a lifetime. Can you please tell us some of your thoughts on organic cannabis growing so some of these other growers might be able to avoid these pesticide issues that they're dealing with right now? I know there's very stringent laws in California, which is great, because we don't want pesticides in our medicine. Mm-hmm. What have you done in the past, John, to avoid having to use pesticides?
Yeah, well, that's a great question, Justin. In my mind, it would come down to three things. One would be the plants that you use, what you feed them, and how you treat them. And here at Big Sur Canna Botanicals, we make all our own seeds and our mother plants, our own plants from seed.
Right.
And so that allows us to get away from clones from other nurseries which could possibly be contaminated before we get them with pathogens or bugs of that sort. And so, we feed them organic fertilizer that we make mostly in the form of teas. We make from worm castings, compost, and things like this, so we don't have to feed them Miracle Grow and such like other people would. And also, having clean mother plants allows us to have clean clones, and that way we don't have to use the parasites.
The pesticides.
The pesticides,
of course.
Me, yeah.
Of course.
And so if you don't have to apply pesticides, then we use things like biologicals, which are spider mites, predatory mites, ladybugs, things of that sort.
Right, John, we're doing the same thing in our gardens, and we just picked up a bunch of those mites, and we added them to our soil yesterday. And those will help our plants to avoid mildew and avoid any pests. So we're able to go 100% organic too. And I think this is very interesting in the world. The only company that I know of in Canada right now that's gone 100% organic is the Green Organic Dutchman. And they've partnered with Aurora, and they're going to be doing very big things. Also, let's move on to our next topic here. As we're looking at new technologies in the world of cannabis, I've seen that over in Israel, they've developed an inhaler that has a mist of nano-encapsulated cannabinoids that bypasses the brain-blood barrier, and you get 100% absorption instantly. Now, this is breaking technology as far as I'm concerned, because you get the medicine instantly and you get 100% of it. And as we're dealing with dosing down here, I noticed that Jetty Extracts has a dablicator, which I know you have here in your store. And I think that's pretty brilliant, because you're able to get just the right amount of medicine that you need. And can we talk about this a little bit? Talk about some new technologies that you're seeing right now, and some of the new brands that are coming out that you guys like.
Yeah, so the new technologies, you're right, they're changing, I think, daily. There's some mad scientists out there developing something that's going to come out tomorrow that we haven't even heard of yet. I've heard of the inhalers, I haven't seen them come our way yet. So that's something I would love to see, and I'm very interested in the fact that you can, get, if you're saying 100% of the availability of that product. That's huge. I think when you digest it and eat it, you're only getting about 20% of what's there. And so, with the dablicators from Jetty Extracts, again, that model is great, because, they are, a precise dose, where the old ways of having like a syringe applicator, it was a little more difficult to deal with. So that's really neat. I do really like Mary's Medicinals right now. They, I think, originally started in Colorado, and they've made their way finally over to California. But they have some similar technology, even with their patch. They have patches and capsules and other topicals that it's their own secret formula. They won't divulge how they do it, but most topicals and patches don't break that blood-brain barrier, and so which is great for a lot of the community that doesn't want to have the psychoactive effects. They can treat topically certain pain issues that without getting high. But they've developed where it actually, you know, they have some little gel, and again the patches and other things that actually do break the blood-brain barrier. And according to them, you know, it's not quite, you know, 100%, but they're saying for every milligram that you get from an edible, theirs is equals 8 milligrams, you know, with their application process. So maybe it's more like an 80%, you know, bioavailability. So,
very interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. Another question I had for you is, as we're about to go take a tour of your beautiful dispensary and take a look at some of the fine products you have here, I had a quick question. John, tomorrow we're going to be touring a big grow operation here in the Salinas Valley. I was wondering if you'd like to come with me as a cannabis expert.
Absolutely, Justin. That'd be a great time.
Great. Well, would you like to go ahead and show us your dispensary?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's
Great.
go take a look.
Let's go take a look, fellas. Welcome to the dispensary of Big Sur Canna Botanicals. Down here in our their product cases, there's plenty of fine cannabis products. Aaron, John, will you show us some of your favorites?
Yeah, well, I mean, the different sections, first of all, you know, the dispensary is set up into 2 main sections, and so we're able to have that one-on-one communication with our customers as they come in. And here you'll see most of our vape products. And, you know, it's not that so much we have favorites, we just like to carry what generally the consumer is asking for and what's really working for them. And obviously in the current regulatory climate of California, that product choice has been a lot more limited than in the past, so we're able to, you know, just kind of get what's available. But fortunate for us, the products we're already carrying are many of those products that are available. Some of our favorites are, you know, Bloom Farms, and over here for the people that really have, you know, a lower tolerance. They're kind of a mid-range potency, but they have a great one-for-one, you know, program. You buy a product, they give a meal out. So really love the fact that they do that. Your jetty extracts, where are they? They're in here somewhere, but I think they're actually behind me.
I see one behind you there. Yeah.
So with the strict packaging. You know, I can't really pull one out and show you, but you know, childproof packaging that's required by California, and all the amazing testing results and labeling that's also required there.
Very nice.
Yeah, but great product.
What do you have over here now? These are tinctures and skin creams?
So yeah, over here in this section we have you know, some capsules, some disposable strips, a myriad of tinctures that are available. For those that know about tinctures, they're drops that generally go under the tongue. Of course, you can see the patches from Mary's Medicinals that I was talking about earlier.
Oh, I'd love to try one of those.
Yeah, the transdermal gel pen as well, again, that you put on your wrist. Normally I have about 5 or 6 different topicals, like balms and creams and things, but again, with the tight regulatory standards, a lot of those, there's sort of a supply issue, a lot of bottleneck at the testing level. So we're hoping to get some of those back this week.
You know, I notice you have all your buds, your beautiful flower, I should say, up on the back shelf.
Yep.
And then over here in this refrigerator, you also have some of the legal drinks.
Yeah.
Could you pull one of those out for us?
Yeah, go ahead.
I found those to be one of my favorite products. I love the way they make me feel.
Well, again, there's normally about 4 different choices for those.
Well, it's been a busy week, I'm sure.
Well, no, it's again, they're held up at the bottleneck of testing, and so we're you know, and again, you know, I keep repeating the current regulatory, you know, state of affairs in California, and this refrigerator is normally full.
Right.
You can see here my concentrates, you know, refrigerator. I have 2 of them. Normally I have so many that I can't really fit them all in there, and currently, you know, I'm down to like two products.
Can you pull one out? Can we see your concentrates?
Yeah, so here, what do we have here? We have some...
I used to come in here daily for these, so I know very well that they're the best.
Yeah, so you know, this is from Loud Pack. Loud Pack, this is a small bud run sugar. Again, I can't, you know, there's not much I can do. Not much I can do about showing you the actual product.
Of course.
Child-resistant packaging, and of course all the proper labeling. Here you can kind of see some of the shatter from a company called Terpex, you know, brought to us from Indus Corporation locally here in Salinas Valley.
I've tried that. I like it.
Yeah, it's a good low-cost, you know, option.
What are those going for? Is that a half a gram there?
A half a gram, and I want to say it's, well, don't quote me on that. You're putting me on the spot.
I think it's about $20.
Yeah, and less than that even.
Yeah, yeah. And then how about these Kiva bars over here? I know that a lot of people really like Kiva bars.
Yeah, Kiva's been one of the leaders in the industry for a while now.
And they're out of Oakland, but they have a local facility?
They do not have a local facility, but we love our rep, Nicole, and she treats us well. And you know, that again, normally they have like 5 other flavors and, you know, other products that we carry from Kiva, but they're currently held up in testing. But this is their new child-proof packaging, and works really well.
Can I bring your attention over here really quick? I wanted to show you this display case of beautiful medicinal apparatuses. And I think this is very nice of you to put this here for the patients. So it's a one-stop and shop. You can get little apparatuses for taking your medicine.
Accessories, I suppose. Apparatus.
Yes, and we have more accessories over here.
Yeah. Accessories, I think, is the new word that the state is using as opposed to the old terminology of paraphernalia.
Sure. Take a look in here at these beautiful accessories. These look like hand-blown glass by local artists, perhaps?
Hand-blown glass, and again, it's a convenience. Many people that come through, you know, like to find a low-cost option to use their medicine.
Would you be so kind as to show us one of your finest flowers?
Yes, lots of fine flower up there. One of my favorites, let's see if I can find a good one here, is one of our good friends at Canna Bay Farms. This is a Hawaiian Punch, and if you can...
we can smell it from here.
Yeah, if we had smell-o-vision, you'd be, this would be a new...
And is that a sativa indica?
It's a sativa dominant, you know, flower, if you will,
and it's a Hawaiian Punch.
Hawaiian Punch, yeah. And so we really like it. The lighting's kind of bad in here, but if you could see that in the light, you would see that it glows.
No, let's take a look. I want to see her glow.
You know, the display bud is there. We go, a little bit better. Kind of get in there. Wow. You know, great trichomes, and the displays get a little beat up here. You know, according to the state of California, as soon as we're done with this, we'll have to destroy it, which it means under camera, you know, in a bucket, making it, you know, rendering it unusable.
Yeah, of course.
So
rules are rules, and we like.
Would have been a great compassion product back in the old days, right? Yes. We could have just given that to somebody, but unfortunately, we no longer can do that. But, well, again, we hope the state of California will listen.
Well, I hope the world listens. You know, we have viewers from around the world that are taking very careful note on what's happening here in California. And so, Aram, John, I want to thank you both so much for allowing us in here to your beautiful dispensary. Yeah. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your knowledge and wisdom. Yeah. And let's head back over to James in Toronto. James,
awesome.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you guys. That was just phenomenal. Thank you so much. We'll be down there to see you soon. Anyways, wow. Wow or what, Ed? Wow.
No, Zowie.
Zowie is right.
Zowie.
Zowie.
I love that word.
Yeah. Now, how about those little display modules that will actually glow and light up the whole bud so you can actually see exactly the condition of the trichome. You can see how that bud has been treated up to the moment before you buy it, which if you're a connoisseur of fine dried flower,
right,
that's very important. So I got to say, I am so impressed. I'm really looking forward to it.
Does the condition affect the effect?
Yeah, absolutely.
There's a condition.
Well, the more the trichomes have been rubbed off,
the effect now.
The less
are both effects with an A or an E.
Ed, are you messing around with us here now? Boy, that reminds me what you were saying earlier about marriage, and you said something that was kind of interesting.
Well, you know, they usually say that children are the glue in a marriage. Like, for instance, you have a conventional marriage.
Yeah.
And then you know, after a while, well, you know, maybe it's time to add to the
brood.
you know, like there's just a
Fornicate
the man
like
and the
crazy.
woman, and then all of a sudden
Procreate.
you start having children, you know, in your likeness.
Well, soft, not always.
No, not always.
Sometimes you have children, or you have a bun in the oven, and you say, "Hey, to keep everybody happy, we better get married." Correct me if I'm mistaken.
Okay. So in other words, sometimes the bun in the oven.
Give it to a shotgun, yeah. Shotgun wedding to ya.
Yeah.
One of those.
That was something in the All Stars, right? Something in the All Stars. And he
Well,
did.
Shotgun's a famous old R&B song that I've just improvised the lyrics to adapt it to your premise that people get married occasionally.
But there was I think the singer's name was something in Junior Walker and the All Stars.
Junior Walker and the All-Stars did one of the most famous versions of Shotgun ever.
What did I just say?
Here's a throwdown challenge for the control room. If you could find us a video of Junior Walker and the All-Stars playing Shotgun.
Yeah, we'll play it right now.
We'll play it right now.
Yeah.
We'll play a small excerpt. We'll even bust a move.
Shotgun.
Get it to me, baby.
Oh, these chairs have some good bounce to them.
We didn't know.
I hope there's nothing in that chair. Jesus. Oh.
Boy, it's a good thing we're not drinking.
Yeah.
So you were saying?
So yeah, in
marriage.
any event, you know, they often say children are the glue in a relationship. So if children, sometimes it's easier to go your own way if there's no children.
You can go your
Don't you think
own
that's
way.
that makes sense, right?
Well, if there's no children, it's definitely easy to call it a day
you know
if the
what?
relationship's gone sideways.
Let's call this a day.
Right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Let's
But if
go
you
to
got
greener
children,
pastures.
you think,
well, we got to stick it together for the kids.
Okay, you go out, but I'm going out tomorrow night.
Wait a sec. If the child is still in this mode and you're already having issues, clearly you made a bad decision not so long ago.
Sometimes it's said, don't have children to strengthen or to eliminate the discontent that's brewing inside the relationship. In other words, if you're not happy to begin with, children aren't going to make you happy. Like, you better be happy
So
first.
don't be having kids just to try to salvage the relationship.
Kids won't make you happy.
Kids won't
In fact,
make you happy.
A very famous...
Every kid I've ever met makes me miserable as hell. My brother, when his kid was a baby, this thing, he would say, "Would you want to hold this?" And the kid would be like, "Ah! Ah! Ah!" And for 2 years, I couldn't get near this kid. I thought, well, this is a nephew I'm never going to have a relationship with. Turns out now he's a good kid and he doesn't scream anymore, at least not around me. And,
I know. It's
kids.
a complicated thing.
I've got dogs.
I hear you. I've got fleas.
Have you got fleas?
I've been hanging around too many dogs.
Well, there you go. Lay down with dogs.
So my dog, I've got a good friend. He's a GP, and he's got a major practice, and he's almost at the point of packing it in. But
what do you mean? The practice or generally?
No.
How is he feeling?
He's you know, he's in his 7th or 8th decade. I can't remember which. So he's moving on it. You know, and it gets more and more regulated.
We all make it so far.
I know. But here's one of his lines, and I think he's a brilliant guy, and he's a real.
Erudite?
He's a man for all seasons.
All right.
He says, never allow your happiness to be contingent on anyone or anything. In other words, generate your happiness internally.
I gotta think about that.
Well, look, you may want to, but wouldn't that make it simpler though? If everybody relied on themselves to be happy.
Well, that sounds like good in theory. However, in practice, I suspect that not too many apply.
No, he's pretty content.
Well, but if you don't need anybody to make you happy or anything to make you happy, does that imply that nothing gives you pleasure?
No.
Only yourself can give you pleasure? Because, I mean, I know how one way to give yourself pleasure. I don't imagine you want to do that all the time.
That's Otto.
Otto.
Otto, you know Otto.
Who doesn't know Otto?
I know Otto too.
He's right here.
I got
the Palm Sisters.
The whole world in my hands. I'm not even a singer.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. I think
we should say hello to some of our viewers who we know and love here. Yeah. Hank Krassenberg is here from Germany.
Jeez, Hank.
Great to see you again. Thanks for joining us.
What time is it over there?
It's
10:30.
late. We're a late night TV show for him. I know. We're already beating out Jay Leno, Conan O'Brien. Is that the guy who's still on? I don't know. Do you know who does these shows?
Cohen.
Heidi Lang. She really liked your joke about the politics, the parasite, the politics.
The many parasites, politics.
She thought that was quite funny. Yeah. Heidi, nice to see you.
Thanks for the thumbs up.
Fish Fisher recommends that we jump off the wagon. Ready? To jump off the wagon?
Do you know the origin of that statement?
The wagon.
On the wagon, off the wagon.
On the wagon, off the wagon, on the wagon again.
You want to hear about it?
Sure. Tell me the story.
So in medieval England, okay, when a lot of people had to go to the gallows for their last, there was a lot of people hung back.
Hung how? Like, what do you mean by that?
A lot of people were considered guilty and they were sent to the gallows, correct?
Yes.
And they put them on a wagon.
Executed.
They put them on the wagon. Mm-hmm. They put them on the wagon, and they were driving them over to see the hangman. And quite often the driver might, there was a bar, like a pub, and he'd say, you know what, let's give them one last drink. Off the wagon, guys. They'd go get their drink and then back on the wagon. So
no.
That is it?
No.
It is.
Come on. Wait a sec. No. You're on death row.
Yeah.
They're taking you to your hanging.
Yeah.
The guy driving the wagon says, you know what, you guys want to stop for a drink before you got hungry?
I don't know if he said it that way. He said he probably was thirsty too, and he felt sorry for the guy. He said, come on, guys.
Oh, more like he's feeling the drams a bit.
Yeah.
He's like,
I'm not saying,
I need a drink. Do you guys need a drink?
Hey, you know what? How are you guys good? What's going on later on this afternoon, guys? What do you got planned for the rest of the afternoon?
That almost makes you wish you were on the wagon getting hung. You get a free drink out of it. No, I guess that's a little bit.
No, I'm just saying that's the derivation of that statement. So if you're on the wagon,
right,
you're not drinking.
Right.
Off the wagon,
you're drinking.
You get your little last nip.
Well, so off the wagon implies, though, that you're on your way to a very bitter end.
But
you know where that term comes from?
Bitter end?
Bitter end.
No.
Bitter end.
Let me ask you,
yes,
do you know where it comes from?
I do, but I don't remember.
Oh. Well, I understand quantum mechanics, but I don't remember it.
This is the short-term deficiency in memory that results of, what was I saying again?
Yeah.
Anyways, on our YouTube channel, let us check in with our YouTube people. Tico Trader says, MPX and TGIF for real? Well, just a quick aside there. Tico Traders. Turns out that was a rumor that somebody picked off of the internet and fed to me, and I just mistakenly, never to be repeated, no offense, Fraser, but I'm never going to take him at face value again. He tells me that,
listen,
hey, this is the deal.
I mean, they're both.
Turns out it's a rumor.
Okay, so it's a rumor. So,
it's a rumor.
But they're both halted.
Yesterday's rumor, day before's rumor, was that Afria was going to do a deal with Molson Coors, and it turned out that to be.
Well, they were probably trying to do the best deal with several companies, and it sounds like somebody in the Coors organization has got a pretty sharp pencil.
Well,
just saying.
Yeah. Well, they were talking to 4 companies.
Yeah.
And pretty much all the three other ones were looking for an investment to make it real. And the
so no money's going in right now.
There's no money going in anywhere.
But there's a relationship.
There's a relationship.
So
there's an informal statement by a spokesperson for Colt Moore.
Colt Moores?
Molson Coors to the Globe and Mail.
What's their beer like?
They've got to pay $11.5 million. Have you ever had Molson Coors beer? Well, let's see. Let's separate Coors from Molson.
I like the banquet beer. I like the Molson's, the Coors banquet beer, which is the old one, that with the yellow can.
I don't remember that.
I like a nice yellow can.
I used to drink variously. Molson Export was my go-to ale.
Ooh, I don't even like the look of the can.
Molson Golden was one of my favorite beers. And I was looking forward to the Molson cannabis beer, but now I'm not looking forward to it.
No. You'll be able to,
it's always good to be a bitter reminder.
If it keeps going the way you're going, you won't be able to afford to drink.
I know.
You'll have to get on the wagon.
I'm going to have to be on the wagon. They'll probably take me away and hang me.
Okay.
Anyway, so the, oops, yes.
Didn't Roger Miller say that? Dang me. Dang me.
Look,
you ought to take a rope and hang me.
The chat is all about our flub on the MPX thing in the. Never mind. Let's drive on beyond that. Yes, that was a mistake. We were caught up in the rumor mill.
Remiss.
We were remiss. Anyways, Suniva, please. JRK wants us to look at Suniva. Jay, we'll get to that the next time we come back to the charts in just a little bit here. Lawrence Daly says, good afternoon, gents. Thanks for the update on TGIF. No update, that was that.
Why don't we call some of the people we know at TGIF and let's get some answers.
Who do we know at TGIF?
Well,
Suzanne, could you please try to get TGIF CEO on Skype for us, please?
That's a Nevada company, right?
Nevada company, yeah.
And I think we know
Neil Fletcher. Neil Fletcher, always a articulate individual. Oh, he's pumping Crop on us again. Sorry, Neil. Crop, we've tried to reach out to them. They haven't responded. We've done our best. We're not going to talk about Crop anymore.
Is Crop U.S. or Canadian?
Crop is, I don't even know.
CROP?
They got something going on in Nevada. They're 600 hemp plants, according to Neil, but we tried.
Yeah.
Let's see. System Deadlock says, nice work, guys. I'm pretty sure that's a snide offhand remark about our reference to MPX and TGIF. Yeah, we don't have a big research department.
You know what? Let me just get rid of some here. Hey, you know what? There's look at this. Poor
Freedom Unleashed says,
Mr. Head didn't even hear a word of what we were saying.
He was in the dome of silence.
Cone of silence.
Dome.
Oh, that's the dome.
The cone of silence would be
a cone. Yeah, that's true.
We're laughing it up in there,
I've never heard of the dome of silence until today.
The dome of silence.
The dome of silence.
Maxwell Smart, Get Smart.
I think we should be. No, that was the cone. Wasn't that the cone of silence?
Well, they had both the cone and the dome of silence.
Yeah.
Remember the guy? I can't remember the character's name. If they were sitting at Maxwell's desk, it would be the dome of silence. Maxwell Smart.
And Chief. And they put it on, and they'd say something. They'd say, "What'd you say?"
I can't hear you in here.
Okay, take off the cone of silence.
You know, anybody under 50 out there is just going to be like, "What the hell are these guys talking about?"
It was and then what's her name? Agent 86.
Yeah,
she was.
She was a hottie.
Bit of a sweetie.
She was a hottie. Yeah, that would get Maxwell Smart off the shoe phone in a heartbeat.
Oh.
Oh,
it would get him on the shoehorn. Get him on the shoehorn.
Okay, on the shoehorn. Ed, let's go back and look at some of the stocks, because that's what we're supposed to be here for. We still have Emblem, Nick Dean from Emblem coming up. We're going to come back to the charts in just a minute. First, here's Nick Dean with Emblem. Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest in this segment is Nick Dean, and he's the CEO of Emblem Corp, trading on the TSX Venture under symbol EMC. Nick, welcome back.
Thank you, James. Nice to see you.
Nick, lots of big news in the Emblem Corporation world. Strategic partnership with GreenSpace Brands, acquisition of Natura Naturals after a strategic investment.
Yes, sir.
Really going on. Where do you want to start?
Well, why don't we start with the most recent announcement, which was GreenSpace.
Sure.
So just yesterday, we announced that we have formed a partnership with GreenSpace Brands to launch a line of CBD health and wellness products. I've known Matt Von Teichman for a number of years, and him and I have actually been talking about the opportunity to partner up to create a line of these CBD-based health and beauty products.
Okay.
And over the course of that discussions, we ended up netting out on this strategy. It's funny, every time I meet with Matt, I ended up going home and opening my fridge, and there was one of GreenSpace's products. It's just, they're fabulous marketers, they're fabulous branders, and they've got fantastic distribution.
Really? Okay, so are these products currently available under the current regime being CBD products?
So what we're planning on doing actually is creating a net new line of products and a net new line of brands.
Okay.
So we're going to be doing a line of hemp seed gel caps that we'll be selling through Matt's existing retail channels, such as some of the major retailers, grocery stores, natural health food stores, and pharmacy. And with that same brand, we're also going to create a line of CBD-infused hemp-based gel caps and cannabis CBD-based gel caps. Now, that's just the first product that we're going to launch together. We're also going to get into lotions and then ultimately into edibles and beverages. So yeah, it's a pretty exciting partnership.
So GreenSpace is not currently just a cannabis brand?
No, they're not a cannabis brand. In fact, GreenSpace is a traditional consumer packaged goods company focused on health and wellness products, organic products. So you may have heard of them. Rolling Meadow Milks, the grass-fed milks.
Sure, you see those everywhere.
Exactly. Cedar Juice is another one of those products. Love Child is a great organic product for kids. Yeah, so they're really focused on health and wellness and natural food products.
Sure, as a brand platform.
As a brand platform. And so we think this is an industry first where a cannabis company, a traditional LP, has actually partnered up with a traditional consumer packaged goods company.
That actually
makes perfect sense.
It
All
does.
these cannabis companies are trying to become consumer packaged good companies.
And
why
that's-
not just buy one?
Well, so we didn't buy them. We've partnered with them.
okay.
And actually, the way it's going to work is we're making a strategic investment in GreenSpace, basically to help them launch their CBD line of products.
Okay.
And as a result of that, they're going to be buying cannabis oils from us, and we're going to get an ongoing royalty from both the sales of their hemp-based products and their cannabis-based products.
Okay, how much of an investment in GreenSpace are you making in terms of a percentage of their equity?
So I think their market cap right now is between $65 and $70 million, and we're putting $2 million in. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
$1 million in equity out of the gate,
Right.
and $1 million in convertible debt.
Ah, interesting. Okay, and then so it's so that's right. So that's with GreenSpace Brands, and then you also now have made a bid to acquire all the outstanding shares of Natura Naturals.
We have.
Right.
So I think, James, as you and I talked about a few months back, Emblem is incredibly focused on product innovation, creating great brands, and ultimately making sure that we have access to consumers. And I've told you, I've told crowds before, we don't have any intentions to be the largest cultivator of cannabis in Canada. But cultivation was the missing piece of the puzzle. We have a great facility in Paris, Ontario. It's our Woodsley facility. We're currently growing about 2,000 kilograms a year out of that facility.
Okay.
But as we look at our ambitious plans to expand this product portfolio across Canada and then ultimately internationally, we did need to have a firmer cultivation strategy in place. So effectively, we'd been talking to the Natura guys for a number of months, and we were initially focusing on a supply agreement. And through that process, we got to know their team, we got to know their growers, we looked at their 32 specific strains, and we thought, maybe there's a better opportunity to bring the two companies together in a really accretive move for our shareholders and for the company's growth overall. So we started with the supply agreement, which we announced, 3,000 kilograms, and from there we said, let's take this a step farther, and we announced that we will be aiming to close the deal by the end of August.
Wow, that's great. So that's a 662,000 square foot facility?
It is.
Where's that located?
It's located in Leamington, Ontario.
Oh, Leamington.
Cannabis capital of the world, yeah.
Used to be the ketchup capital, and now it's the cannabis capital.
Exactly. So
Okay.
what they were doing is they've got a phase 1 and a phase 2 build out. So they've built out the first 150,000 square feet retrofit of their existing greenhouse,
Right.
which produces about 15,000 kilograms a year, which will be coming online later this year. The remainder of the phase 2 will take it up to 70,000 kilograms a year in total production out of that facility. So James, as I think you're aware, we were planning on building a greenhouse ourselves, but through this transaction, we've now suspended plans to build the greenhouse ourselves and instead refocus the efforts on Natura.
Sure. Well, that's great. So when would Natura's supply come on stream for you guys?
It's going to come online in Q4 of this year.
Okay.
And then we're going to, as we build out phase 2, obviously, and we're building consumer demand in the marketplace, it's all going to be working unilaterally.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a cohesive strategy has emerged from Emblem, which was so quiet for so long. That's fantastic.
Yes, sir.
Then you've got supply agreements with Alberta. You've got Emblem Germany starting up.
We've been busy this year.
Yeah.
We've been busy.
I mean, it's like, wow, I feel like I'm sitting in front of a whole new company.
I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to hear that.
No,
you know what?
refreshing.
It feels like a brand new company.
Right.
We've made a lot of changes over the last 9 months. We've brought in fantastic talent to help us build out our plan. I think, I actually spent the morning with the Natura team. They bring fantastic talent that really complements Emblem's existing team.
Oh, great.
So yeah, it's an aggressive plan, and the focus right now is purely on execution. Let's just make sure we're executing against everything we tell our shareholders in the market.
Sure. With the CBD infused health products,
Yes.
now those are legal in Canada right now, are they not?
They are if we're selling through the medicinal channels. So
Okay.
we cannot label a product CBD and sell it through the traditional retail channels such as a pharmacy, a natural health food store, or a grocery store. So that's why we're going to have a 2-channel strategy. GreenSpace is going to sell through their existing hemp seed oil for now, and we're going to be selling through our existing partnerships, AGLC, Fire and Flower. Hopefully, when we learn more about what's happening with the OCS here in Ontario as well and across Canada. So yeah, it's a bit of a dual strategy. We do expect, I don't have a crystal ball, but we do expect that regulations will change as they have many, many times so far in this sector. And we do believe that hemp-based CBD products ultimately may be allowed to be sold in your more traditional natural health food stores and the pharmacies as over-the-counter products.
Yeah, it's interesting to me because you can buy hemp seeds as a natural food product now. So technically, you're buying CBD.
Great with fatty acids.
That's right. Interesting. So can I ask you, because I'm having a hard time figuring that out.
Sure.
The Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, has
made this overture that he's going to privatize cannabis sales in Ontario. But has that derailed the process of onboarding cannabis sales for September, or rather October 17th, through the LCBO system?
It hasn't as of yet. So we are still, and I believe a number of LPs are in active dialogue with the OCS, and we're committed to partnering with them, whether it's a public model, a public-private model, a private model.
Right.
I think the goal here is to make sure that we're getting high-quality cannabis products in the hands of Ontarians,
Sure.
And starting to push away the opportunities with the black market. So bring that more online to make people have safe and accessible access to products. So we're happy to work with the OCS in whatever format.
So do you think that the idea of opening up the private market to cannabis sales in Ontario is going to be more effective in eliminating access to black market supplies?
I think so. I think it's all about building brands that consumers will trust at the end of the day, and a retail-focused private chain will provide that type of credibility, authenticity, and education to the consumer.
Right.
So I do believe, this is going to it's going to create a free market system, and I think it's going to create safer access to the cannabis products, high quality cannabis products that Ontarians demand.
So then, in the context of an investor looking forward at all your development plans, what's the financial condition of the company in terms of cash on hand versus what your capex requirements and opex requirements are going forward?
Yeah. So right now, Emblem's still got a healthy balance sheet. We've got about $70 million on hand now. We are making these acquisitions, and we are going to be using a significant amount of that cash through the transactions themselves. But we think we're well positioned to take the business plan where it needs to go.
Right.
And then ultimately our cash flow from sales will start to support the business's growth as we move forward. So we feel we're really well positioned to execute against the plans that we have in front of us.
So at this point, no plan to tap capital markets?
Not, I'll never say never,
right.
But we at this point, likely not. We're going to be leveraging the cash that we have on hand.
Well, that's great. Then tell me about what's going on in Germany then.
So we also recently announced an LOI with a group called Acnos Pharma, a great group of pharmacists that are actually selling product already in the German market. They've got a great wholesale distribution network where they have access to about 20,000 of the pharmacies in Germany. So the joint venture structure is 60-40 in favor of Emblem, and essentially they're going to be a sales and distribution channel for us, but under the brand name of Emblem Germany.
Fantastic. So Germany is still strictly medical?
Correct.
And do they have plans to move towards recreational as well, or are they just sort of in a wait and see?
I think it's probably a wait and see at this time. Our focus with our international expansion efforts is medical only. So, Germany's the first entry point for us into international markets. We're going to be looking at the UK, we're going to be looking at Australia, we're going to be looking at Italy, you name it. But it's really going to be a medical focus first.
Right.
And we believe that's where the markets are going to open up initially.
Okay, so is it safe to then categorize Emblem as primarily medical going forward and not so much recreational?
What we are is we're a health and wellness company. Emblem was built as a medical company first. We've got just over 4,000 patients now and a great line of innovative medical products that we're selling to our existing patients.
Right.
That is the strategy. We expect medical will make up around probably 65 to 70% of our ongoing revenue, given that internationally that's where the market really does open up. In the adult use space, we will be selling as a health and wellness brand, which ties so nicely to our recent partnership with GreenSpace Brands as health and wellness products.
Wow. Interesting. So how will Emblem get around, and I mean, this is a question I ask everybody, how are you going to get around the restrictions on marketing and advertising?
Very creatively, yes.
By coming on the show more often.
Exactly. By wearing my t-shirt, which I'm not wearing today. No, I do think there's a lot of opportunities still to create brand awareness. We recently launched our adult use brand symbol, and there have been a number of opportunities from an activation perspective. So, feet on the street, from a PR perspective. So how can we garner that earned media versus owned media? So I do think there's a lot of opportunities to still build awareness and anticipation for our brands, even with the strict regulations.
Fantastic. All right, Nick, well, that's an incredible update. I am more interested in Emblem than ever before, and we will be following with interest. Thanks for coming in today.
James. Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
So,
bang, boom, Emblem, bloom, blam. There's a company that was quiet for so long, and now it's making all these big moves. They're in Germany. They're doing this deal, this takeover. They've got all this bud. They've got Emblem.
What's the ticker?
EMC. EMC. Let's take a quick look at their chart.
Okay, let's take a look.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe there's something I can say about them.
Oh, I'm sure. I have no doubt that there's things you look at that. They're up 0.85% today, probably because they were here. No, just
Right.
kidding.
Right.
No, but they've had some great news lately. Like,
And what are they up today?
they are up
1 penny.
a penny.
Wow.
Well, at least they're up.
Yeah, at least they're up. Yeah.
You know, what's their
And
chop?
let the volume. Let's see the volume today. Volume 211,000. Now what's
Well, it's modest. They could clearly benefit through some from some Midas Letter love there.
Yeah.
That's all right. They've got so they've got $70 million in the bank still.
70 million?
70 million. This press release here I'm going to pull up was
Wow, that's-
interesting. So
so
he
you-
alluded to this in the interview, but this company is in it's in all kinds of supermarkets already, and they're sort of doing this partnership for CBD products based on the fact that cannabis will be legal. But these guys have stuff in Loblaws, all the major shopping places, and yeah, I think it's going to be a thing of beauty, that old Emblem. What else we want to look at? One of our listeners, readers, watchers was asking us to talk about Suniva.
Let's take a look at Suniva.
Down 11 cents today, 1.89%.
Boy, I got to tell you, the more charts I look at in this space, I got to tell you, it looks like we had a serious bubble back in, November, December,
it's
January.
just the Muskoka effect.
Yeah, but look at these things, and it looks like you can't get excited about when you see these candles with very minor ranges that keep sort of trending lower.
It's August.
I'll give you that, but we want to. So when would you say? Would you like to see some action by?
I'm going to start buying cannabis stocks about August 15th, and I'm going to keep buying them until I see
The money
next,
runs out.
No, until the money runs out. Exactly. I expect the market to remain irrational longer than I can remain solvent. Where do you think I learned that one? Hey?
That's why shorting overvalued stocks. That's one of the sayings. Markets can remain irrational longer you can remain solvent. So
Yeah.
you got to be careful. You can't go in looking to call the top. You got to go in as they roll over. Roll over.
Roll over, roll
Beethoven.
over. Roll over, Beethoven. Okay. Anyways, what else we got here? Let's take a look at our old friends at Aurora Cannabis.
Okay. And
Aurora
put up
Cannabis?
weed today, because I think weed was a bit of a something seems to be.
Something is right in the world of weed because they're up 2.56%, up 86%,
And then look at
86
that.
cents
Okay, so
rather.
let's take a look at that little.
You want to go in for the 5-day look, Ed? A closer look?
The 5-day look, I'm not so sure.
Look at these. Peaks are getting higher and higher here. What does that tell me? What does that tell you?
Well, this last peak isn't.
Well, look at this thing kicks off every day with a big bump.
Yeah.
That means you could trade this thing look at that.
Yeah.
Buy it in the morning and sell it.
I'm sure trading is the easiest thing in the world. I'm sure people are just making millions trading all the time.
Buy, sell.
Why would you work when you can trade?
Buy, sell. I don't know. I kind of like work. But no, today's been a solid day for...
If you like your work, is it work?
That's an interesting philosophical question. Let's ask Plato.
Let's see.
Plato.
Oh, you know what we need is we need something underneath.
So he can turn? You can be like a puppet show?
Okay.
Plato.
If you are doing something you like to do, would you call it work?
Well, Ed.
Wait a minute. He hasn't said anything all day, but now I'm getting a response.
Ed, I'm trying to give you an answer, and I'll quit interrupting you. Now, let me see.
I want you to speak in Latin.
Ixnay piggy say, whoop way done fay. How about that, Ed? You don't even know what I said.
Igpay Attenley.
Natin backin' shrickin' frackin'. Boom diddy boom doom.
That's pretty funny. How many languages do you speak, Plato?
All of them.
Really? Wow.
Yes.
Back in the day, I'm sure you were a very popular guy.
Well, I had a whole body back then. Now I've just got a special head.
Special head. Mr. Head has a special head.
I think you're spending a little bit too much time with the figurine.
I think so.
Step away from the figurine.
Now look at, here's Aurora. Okay.
You know, the cheaper Aurora gets, the more of a buy I think it is, even though I have to disclose that they are a client of Global Financial Network, and we do help them with their marketing efforts and their video stuff.
Right.
But I'll tell you what, there's a transaction coming that we're not going to talk about here today because it's not official.
Yeah, but I think you've already said it.
Well, I talked about it a bit yesterday, but we've got more clarity on it because there's some, if you're a Canadian holder...
You know what? Go ahead.
Of Aurora stock, you're going to get a warrant and a share of Australis when it goes public.
Is that public information?
It's public information. It's in a prospectus.
Okay.
Yeah.
You know what I'd like to know? I'd like to know, maybe we could do a list, and I don't think you were going to do it or I'm going to do it, but maybe somebody could do it for us.
What kind of list?
A list of the cash balances.
Of each company?
Not all of them, but the major ones. The ones that have, say, market caps over 100 million.
Well, actually, we have a spreadsheet in the research department that we keep.
Really? In the library?
In the library, in the quad, where the research people are, that we track, actually, the market caps, the cash on hand, the number of funded...
So let me tell you where I'm going with this.
Okay.
So if we knew how much cash they had on hand and we knew what their burn rates were, we could sort of look at their... Then we could sort of say, okay, in so many months, each one of these companies has got to come back for more money.
Well, unless they're, producing $80 million a year in marijuana.
No, but then they wouldn't have a burn. They would be adding money.
Well, it depends on what kind of CapEx projects they got underway at any given time.
I know, but I'm saying, could we figure out, we could try to get a handle on, for instance, if a few of the companies with less cash and are trading below their last raise, it might be difficult to raise money because a lot of bankers don't want to raise your money unless you're trading for more than the last raise. Have you heard that?
Yeah. Well, nobody likes to do a down round.
You see, you just sum it up so succinctly.
In the mining business, many companies do just a successive range of down rounds until they're out of business.
Right.
And that's the essence of the mining game.
Only
in Canada can you do that. In the United States,
that's the death.
Well, it's a death spiral. It's
death
not really
spiral,
a death spiral. Death spiral is basically where you swap out debt for shares and issue so many warrants that you strangle all of the other shareholders and remove any opportunity for upside. You could hit the jackpot and you're still not going to see the shares go anywhere.
Hit the jackpot.
Hit the jackpot. So let's take a look at our old friends at High Hampton.
Okay, so High Hampton
still struggling a little bit down at 52.
It's closed here today at 52.
Yeah.
They just did that fairly large financing at 60 cents with a full warrant at 90.
Well, that was a while ago that closed, wasn't it? So, they closed Cali Gold. There's something that we haven't talked about.
Oh, I think we did.
Hampton. We did?
I think we...
No.
Well,
I think we were trying Cali Golds, but we didn't.
I might have said it.
So Ed, you know what Cali Gold is. Why don't you explain the product to me?
Zowie. Cali Gold, two thumbs up.
Two thumbs up. Now, what is Cali Gold?
Cali Gold is a edibles under the chocolate category.
Chocolate category.
Classification.
Yeah.
And apparently, one of the founders has got very good experience in the chocolate arena.
Well, that's a good thing. So the chocolate's good.
Arena.
So anyway, they sell 7 multi-strain flavored, award-winning chocolate bars in dispensaries across California.
Yeah. Now I've experienced that.
So Jonathan Schwartz and Daniel Hood have 18 years combined experience. Okay, so they're making. They got 13 million shares of High Hampton in exchange for Cali Gold. Cali Gold is in how many dispensaries right now? We don't see that disclosure here.
Okay, let's just see. I want to see. So they made this announcement. So this was announced, I believe, on the 31st, which was recently.
3 days ago.
And
2 days ago.
It's a great product. It works.
The market's clearly not taking note of that. But I also suspect that High Hampton isn't doing much.
No,
right
you,
now
you know
by
what?
the
And look,
storytelling.
the volume seems to be coming off, but you know, you've got a whole slew of investors now, a little underwater, not a lot underwater, but a little bit. And you got, now we're into this area here, which really we haven't seen that until back in here. When was this? This was in December. No? Yeah.
Yeah, that's December.
December. So we're, this is.
See, I can put it up. I can put the line right there for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
basically it's trading at.
Oh, I see how you use these lines.
That's right.
That's very clever.
I just realized that.
What ingenious. Look at this. Look at,
So it's trading now
Wow.
at the same place it was trading in late December 2017.
Yeah.
Wow.
And let's see, volume 145, so $75,000 worth of trading. Look, there's no. I don't believe there's any revenue in this yet, but they're going to have revenue now because of Cali Gold.
Yeah.
So that's a step in the right direction.
Theoretically.
And they're sitting. I think they said that there's lots of cash in the company. So.
Oh, they do have lots of cash.
Yeah. Well, they raised 19 million last 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah. Oh, I wonder. Yeah, but they're doing a lot of capex projects.
Let's take a look at. Well, maybe that
canopy growth.
If that cash is all accounted for.
I want to watch CNX for a second. You know why? Because CNX.
CNNX or CNX?
Well, the CanX is the company. CNNX.
Okay.
Oh, it's up today. It's up 2 cents. Boy.
Flying.
Yeah, this is one of the companies
look at 50,000, more than 50,000 shares.
Yeah.
Snick over 50,000.
Yeah. Well, this is one of those ones. Like, these guys are going to close this Jetty Extracts deal, barring a catastrophe. That's a forward-looking statement. They're going to close this Jetty Extracts thing.
We anticipate them closing the.
Yeah, there's no reason why they shouldn't at this point.
No, but sometimes they might.
There could be something.
Yeah.
White Knight comes in and offers more.
Yeah, yes.
But no, we're going to publish our video next week on Jetty Extracts, and we're going to try and coincide it with when CanX closes the deal.
We've got to expect volumes to remain somewhat light until.
Yeah. No, volumes are going to stay light till the 3rd week of August. Then you know what's going to happen is all the pros are going to start coming back, and they're going to start cherry picking the ones that have dropped the most.
And I think the ones with the most cash, like the one you pointed out with the 70 million in cash, for instance, that looks interesting because I think half the value of the company's in cash.
Exactly.
So there's one that, but let's say you're running out of cash, market's soft.
Well, more importantly, what they got is
the calendar for new issues or new fundings in the cannabis space.
Well, there aren't going to be any till closer to September, I don't think.
Okay, there you go.
Really.
Good point.
Because who wants to work in August?
We're becoming more and more like Europe, aren't we?
Yeah, who's going to close a financing pretty quick here is Charlotte's Web, the Stanley Brothers and Charlotte's Web. They're U.S. based. They're going to start trading in Canada, and
is this a marijuana company?
It's a marijuana company.
Wow.
Yeah.
How did they get Charlotte's?
You didn't hear the story? So Charlotte Figge had a young daughter.
Charlotte Figge.
Yeah, I don't think the daughter's name was Charlotte, but the mother's name was Charlotte. They protected Charlotte Figge was having over 300 epileptic seizures per day since birth. Had never had a normal life. The mother was desperate because the child was in life-threatening condition.
Yeah, this is
and
sad.
Joel Stanley, one of the founders, the 3 brothers who founded, created this this resin, and
the resin works.
The resin dropped the epileptic fits down to nothing, and the child has been basically enjoying a normal life, seizure-free, since then.
That's mind-boggling.
Within 6 months, Charlotte's Web had over 15,000 people trying to get their hands on that oil product, and this is what's going public. This company is going public.
Wow.
So I don't know if you got any Charlotte's Web, Ed, but that's when we're looking forward to.
When do you think, and is that going to go public in Canada?
That's going to go public on the CSE, is my understanding.
And it's an American company.
It's an American company.
And they're not going public in the States?
Well, no, it's federally illegal, Ed.
Well, MedMen went public.
Yeah, but they're in Canada.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
I'm learning something every day.
You know who did go public
So if
in the U.S.?
If you're Canadian, you can go public in the U.S., but if you're U.S., you have to go public in Canada.
That's right.
Well, that makes sense. There you go.
The only public...
What if you're from Mexico? Where do you go public?
Anywhere you want. You're Mexican. That's not going to matter. No, so that's the that's Charlotte's Web. So now we're going to cut to, because it's 4:18 and we just talked about Cali Gold. On the topic of gold, I had an interview just a short while earlier
Cali Gold.
with Tim Froude from Sokoman Gold, symbol SIC on the TSX Venture. Here's that interview. Hey, welcome back to Midas Letter Live. My guest this segment is Tim Froude. He's the CEO of Sokoman?
That's correct.
Iron Corp, trading on the TSX Venture under the symbol SIC. Tim, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, James.
Tim, it's very seldom I get to talk to a gold exploration company that has increased in share price by 250% since a week. So tell me, how did you accomplish that?
Well, it was a very good drill hole.
Okay.
We drilled just in the recent couple of weeks, and obviously, yes, the market has responded quite favorably. A very high-grade hole on a gold project out in eastern Canada, actually in Newfoundland.
Okay.
And
what exactly was the intercept that got everybody so excited?
11.9 meters of 44.96 grams per ton.
Wow,
so,
that is
and I'm told that that's an impressive drill hole.
That sure is. Starting at what depth?
109 meters down the hole, or at a vertical depth of 80 meters below surface.
Okay. And so tell me more about the project. It's called the Moosehead Gold Project. Where exactly is it, and what is the sort of geological setting?
Okay, perfect. It's located in north central Newfoundland. Actually, the project is across the Trans-Canada Highway, goes right through it. So, and there's a series of old logging roads that allow access to the central part. It's 100 claims, so it's about 25 square kilometers in area. And it's a high-grade gold project that has had some work in the past, and it's in a setting that's similar to about 150 kilometers along trend from us to the southwest. There's a project called Marathon Gold. They have the Valentine Lake project, which is multi-million, 3 million ounces and growing resource that's certainly bolstered attention for the region, but you know, certainly our drill hole is you know, it needs to be furthered. Obviously, we've got work to do now, and we still have a bunch of holes, 12 to be exact, that are outstanding in the lab, and we'll have those results within 30 days. And I expect to be back on the ground drilling again before October.
Okay. So. What led you to this particular sort of site, this drill location where it was? Was there historical exploration results?
Yes, in fact there was. In fact, I was targeting a little deeper down the hole an intercept reported by Altius Minerals. They were the owners of the property. In 2003, they reported an intercept of 278 grams per ton over just about half a meter at a vertical depth of 200 meters. And wasn't really followed up on. The project kind of sat dormant for a number of years. The project was in joint venture with a major, and things just kind of got stagnant there. So it wasn't really followed up on. And I had my eye on this project for some time, and we were able to come to terms with Altius, who are now our largest, one of our largest shareholders, probably the largest.
Okay.
And we optioned the property from them. In fact, we took possession in March. So we've been compiling the data and putting things together, and yeah, so that led to having to make a decision as to, well, where do we start with this project? So it was the highest, one of the highest grade intercepts on the project, the 278 grams, and I wanted to test that up dip. So we positioned the hole to intersect that zone where we thought we would get it about 50 meters vertically from where they got it, but we intersected much shallower further back the hole, the high grade. In fact, we hit two zones of grade in that hole. The one that obviously made all the news, plus a deeper intercept of about 9 meters grading 4 grams, 4.2 grams, but within that, a higher grade plum of 1.5 meters of just about 20 grams, I think. So we hit multiple vein structures above where we suspected we were going to get the intercept. So it came as a bit of a surprise, obviously. Sure. And certainly an area that had previously not seen any drilling, really, to speak, other than the holes that Altius had drilled initially.
So the suggestion would be that there's a great big feeder structure somewhere close by.
Well, we'd like to think so. I mean, big gold deposits certainly need big structures. Yep. And the structure we hit in the hole actually was over 80 meters of thickness in the drill hole. So, it's a significant structure. And until we get our heads around it a little better, we're obviously going to have to do some drilling, either side of it and probably above it and below it to get the true geometry of the thing. But that's certainly we intend to address and focus with our next phase.
Wow. Okay, so let's talk a bit about the share structure. How much capital have you raised to date? How many shares are outstanding? Who are the biggest shareholders?
Our treasury currently sits at about $4 million. We had, before the financing with Eric Sprott and Associates was announced, we had about $500,000 in the bank. So we brought in about $3.5 million in capital new raise. Okay. But we're also seeing the start of warrant exercise. We have a number of warrants in excess of 20 million. The number could be a little different, but that could bring us in another $1 million overall at prices between 5 and 7 cents. So, at the end of the day, we could have a treasury in and around the $5 million mark.
So you've got more than enough to finish drilling this season.
Well, yeah. I mean, I had budgeted a 2,000 meter program for phase 2 wow. at a cost of about $250,000. But now it looks like I'll be able to increase that program substantially. And,
sure.
And trust me, that is...
Everybody wants you to.
That is in the works, right?
Right. Fantastic. So regionally, what other sort of gold mines are there around there? What other mineral deposits? What's the history of the area generally mining-wise?
Well, it has a history going back about 30 years. Okay. Mineralization was first discovered there by prospectors working for Noranda back in the late 80s, a major Canadian firm that's no longer with us. And the property basically just passed from hand to hand until about 1994 when Altius picked up the ground, and they were able to attract partners. They're a very successful company and have done that for many years. And they drilled over a period of 20 years about 110 drill holes. So there had been some work done, but no one had really sort of put it all together and figured out what it is they have there. So now that task falls to Sokoman and my team. So in terms of properties that are close by, like I mentioned, Marathon, a 3 million ounce gold deposit and growing just on the same structure, about 150 kilometers to the southwest.
Okay, great.
But the immediate area itself has no real history of mineral production. Okay. The closest mine would be, or former mine would be an antimony producer from 10 or 15 years ago.
Interesting. So I'm guessing the 110 holes that Altius drilled were not in the zone where you found these discoveries.
Well, they're in the same sort of structural package of rocks.
Okay.
And I think that's the key here, is that we have to figure out the structure. In hole 1, we drilled 15 holes in our program. We just finished, by the way, and we're still waiting for assays for 12 of them, in case I didn't say that earlier. And like I mentioned, we were targeting an intercept with the first hole that they had reported from 2003, a high-grade intercept at a 200-meter depth. We were hoping to hit it at about 150 meters depth, but we intersected 2 zones of significant gold mineralization significantly uphole from that. So we feel that these are probably different structures that were previously unmapped. Okay. And it's in an area with no outcrop, so it's you really only have your drill holes to fall back on in terms of geology.
In the other 12 or 15 holes at the lab still, was there visible gold observed by the drillers at all?
Well, I can tell you we've reported 3 holes. So the hole, our first hole obviously was the big hole. We have those results, and this is all public. In fact, the press release is on our website with a map. Okay. So we stepped back from that area to complete the program we had laid out initially, because we kind of wanted to stick to the plan sort of thing rather than just attack this thing without having a lot of good science behind it, which is coming. So the remaining holes are all from what's called the Western Trend, and it's about 250 meters to the west of where the first hole was, the big hole. And we expect to have those results in 2 to 3 weeks, all of them. And we'll put out a full press release on those results. And the basis for phase 2 will largely incorporate that. So I have an idea of how large our next program is going to be, but I don't really know where it's going to be yet in terms of the full program. Obviously, a fair component of it will be directed towards the intercept in hole 1, right? I mean, that's priority for us right now.
So lots of news coming yet this summer.
Yes, there will be, and we expect to have 2 drills on the project for our next round, and upwards of well, I can certainly guess 10,000 meters, at a minimum. As you can appreciate, it's only been a week, so we haven't had a chance, and without all the results, to formulate a definite plan. But certainly the Treasury will allow us to have a very, very robust program moving forward.
Well, fantastic, Tim. Sounds like you guys are making great headway. We will follow with interest. Have you back when you release some more results. Thanks for joining me today.
Love to be back. Thanks, James.
Yeah. Well, you know that.
What? That I got a pointy head?
Yeah.
Jesus, nobody tells me that. I got a pointy head?
No. You got a pointy chin.
Now I know you're lying to my face. I got a pointy chin. I got a pointy chin and a pointy head.
No pointy
That's
head.
what makes for the pointy head.
You got an oval face. You must have drank a lot of Ovaltine.
What do you think about that gold deal, Dad?
You know what?
That's a hell of an intercept, though. 11 meters.
Anybody that I know.
11 meters, how many grams per ton live studio audience?
44.
44 grams per ton over 11 meters, starting at 109 meters beneath the surface. Woo!
Get the chart up.
Get that chart up.
Get the chart up.
Let's get the chart up.
Let's see. Let's
This
take
is
a look.
exciting.
Let's take a
What's
look.
the symbol? You remember
I
the symbol?
think I've read a commentary.
Colombian gold.
A commentary.
California gold.
Resource stocks are as cheap as they've been in the last 100 years.
31 cents. I was looking at this before the thing started. We were at 29. We could have bought it. We could have made 2 cents a share head.
Oh, 2 cents a share. Look at this. Look at this.
I know. How's that for a chart?
How many shares outstanding in this little?
It says, they're just doing it. They just announced a $3 million raise at 15 cents, but before that, it's 18.47 million shares outstanding. Look at that. Wouldn't you have loved to have bought the stock down here? 6 cents, or better yet, back here, 3.5 cents.
I thought by working here, or hosting here, I'm not working because we like what we do, so it's not work.
Yeah, that's right.
Plato?
Plato,
what do you say about that?
Well, fuck you, Ed.
Hey, Plato, don't be rude.
Did you just say F you? Here, just a minute.
That little doll's getting the dome of silence.
There you go. There, now.
There, that'll teach you, you little prick.
What?
Plato's getting angry.
Oh, geez, sorry, Plato. Sorry, Plato.
Anyways, if you like our show, don't subscribe. Do not hit the little alarm button. Do not join our
we got a live audience today, Plato.
Exactly. We only want live wires. Plato, say goodbye.
Goodbye, everybody. Come on back soon.
Why don't you just wave goodbye, Plato?
Let's see you wave goodbye.
Let's see you wave goodbye. You're so smart.